From the Lone Star States and the Bluegrass State, this is Your Two Dads.
Your Two Dads.
Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America was AWOL for 2 days and nobody knew. LOL. What's up, everybody? I'm JJ. That's Deacon. We are Your Two Dads. We meet every Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock to drink coffee. I really should give this joke champion cup to you. I really should just give this.
Yeah.
Because I don't win. We drink coffee, we read the news, and we talk. We talk ish.
You have it, JJ.
I wish I could just hand it to you, and you have one over there.
That joke one day.
Sorry, I bonked the microphone. Good morning, everybody. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. It's Monday morning. We're gonna start your day off great. You're gonna get all the important news you need to know, like maybe don't fly Boeing airplanes in Alaska. Maybe don't do that. And we're going to talk about the Secretary of Defense. We're going to talk about, for a minute at least, about Ashley Babbitt. We might talk some video game stuff at the end. And as always, Deacon is going to learn us some music.
Yeah, what's wrong with our faces? We're bigonated today.
I just pushed the other thing. At least this. Okay,
hey,
hello.
There we go.
Hi.
Look at that. Sweet.
Yeah.
I just hit a little button.
Don't you think people want to be closer to us? Just be like, hey.
Maybe. Do you need a hug? All right. Yes. Hello. Welcome. If you will go to the Discord server up above JJ's head, that is our Your Two Dads Discord server. We like to talk and have fun and have good discussions. We hadn't had any philosophical discussions in a long time.
No, not too much. Not too much. We got a lot of memes though.
If you will go down to Deke's playlist, I try to expand your mind with music because I've been a DJ for the better part of 30 years. And this week, JJ, I'm playing brand new music that you have never, ever, ever heard before. And I really think you're going to like it.
Yes.
Okay. So the group is a group out of my hometown. They're called Hollerhead, and they are from Western Kentucky. They are from my county, Marshall County, and the lead singer and songwriter is a 30-plus year friend of mine. We went to high school together. We worked at a grocery store together at 16 years old, bagging groceries and having fun. My second job was at a catfish restaurant, and he was also working at the catfish restaurant. We were really good friends. His name is Jeremy Marshall. He is a great freaking songwriter. Great freaking singer. If you like the Oliver Anthony, look, I didn't even put up the crap. If you,
my God,
Oliver Anthony,
can we put this? Can we put this on the stream? Can people see this?
You know what? I could probably ask his permission to play his music on the show because I messaged him the other day and I told him, I said, man, I've added The Devil's in the Details and a couple of other songs to my playlist on the radio station. And if there's anything else you want me to add, just let me know. And he was like floored. He was like, dude, I'm floored that you would even consider my stuff on your radio station. I'm like, dude, you're great. You're great. I love your freaking music. And I really think other people need to hear this music. It's great. He's a great songwriter. So
this video is very well shot too.
The video is in a town down. It's in my county. You see it. It's called Hardin, but you see our paper, the Marshall County. You see the Trib and the Marshall County Times, and that Four Seasons restaurant. We go there and eat, and I mean that's in my county. That's what my county looks like, and that's what part of my county looks like. But his songwriting is not just my county; it's everywhere. The song is wonderful, and I'm going to feature them all week because they've got great songs. If you'll go to our Discord server, and there's a link to their YouTube page, Hollerhead, HOLLERHEAD. Like them, subscribe to them, whatever you do.
I'll do that
because they're my buddies. The drummer is a guy named Shelbourne. He's got big, long dreads. He's a hippie guy. He's an old drummer from the band. He's my brother's, close friends with me and my brother. They're good people.
Hey, what if we had him on as a guest sometime? Like, if just say, hey, if you ever want to hop on at like 8 a.m, whatever. We can do that too.
Maybe. I mean, they all have regular jobs too.
Oh, okay.
This is not they play out on the weekends and stuff.
The I'm going to say cinematography or at least the video. It looks
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Legit.
Considering
It looks good.
A bunch of, it's not.
Yeah. Well, I don't imagine they had Hollywood folks down there, so it looks really good. I don't know. Maybe that's what you could do on an iPhone. I have no idea, but it looks good. Yeah, go listen to that.
Please check it out. I've got another really good one. All good ones all this week. But I just wanted to feature. I was like, who am I going to pick today? And I thought, let me pick these guys because I freaking love them. I've been listening to them. And I think I was like,
I really is something I've never heard before.
Like this stuff. I think you would like this music.
Do they have? Okay, so this one is. I don't know how you would describe it. It's not exactly upbeat. It's.
Yeah, it's not country. It's not rock. It's like that brand new genre that has developed. It's kind of.
It has. I mean, it's definitely related to country or blues or something like that. But it's got a little bit of a flavor of like 90s pop from like Hootie and the Blowfish or something like that, where they're like harmonizing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's the right word, but that kind of like harmonizing in the background. So there's a little bit of that. It's pretty interesting. I want to hear some more.
Yeah. Well, I'll
tune in. Stuff. I'll tune in tomorrow and find out more.
Tune in, like, and subscribe.
All right, guys. Here we go. Let's get into the news. The news. It was a weekend. Nothing could have gone wrong. Like, this is the United States of America, folks. This is the United States of America. We can definitely go a weekend without something, terrible happening, and we can't handle it. Like, let's see what's going on here. The White House and Pentagon officials did not know that the Secretary of Defense went AWOL and was hospitalized for days. The Secretary of Defense. So when there's a table of people at the White House that are like, what if there's a war? There's Biden and there's some other people and there's the Secretary of Defense who's in charge of all the generals. That dude was just gone. His seat was empty.
Dude, sometimes you've got a freaking vacation planned at Six Flags with the family, and it don't matter if there's 2 wars going on and possibly 3 more. It doesn't matter. The family's going to get pissed off. I mean, how would your wife react if you said, I've got to go? There's wars going on. I've got to go help solve this.
I got to go to work, dear.
I can't go to Six Flags with the family. You're going to have to.
Well, I don't think he was out having fun, but I mean, Deke,
other story.
Deke, if you let me just ask you, because you're the guy that runs that radio station. If you had a real bad cough one day and you're like, I really should go to the doctor or at least stay home because of this cough, would you call anybody? Would you let anybody know that you maybe wouldn't be at the station?
See, the whole problem with this scenario is you used me as an example. I could have my arms and legs cut off.
Yeah.
And be a nub, and something goes wrong with the radio station. I better be hopping my ass into my car and figuring out some way to get to the radio station because there is nobody else to call.
Yeah.
I've been here with 105 fever before. The only difference is I don't talk as much on the air as I normally would.
Wow. Okay, so the U.S. Secretary of Defense.
Right. The point you're trying to make is yes.
You would at least call your boss and be like, I'm dying right now.
I'm not feeling good. I think the radio station is not going to have anybody there. Yes, you let somebody know.
Right, but you're a DJ at a radio station.
Yeah, I'm just.
This is the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah,
he didn't tell anybody. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin was hospitalized for multiple days. I think it was 2 days, and he never informed his boss. Now, it's not like there's a lot of layers of managerial layers between Lloyd Austin and his boss. His immediate supervisor is the president of the United States. Didn't tell him. He just didn't say it.
Well, if your supervisor was Biden, would you want to tell him?
Right. He'd probably be like, well, I mean, if I tell him, he's going to not remember anyway. I don't know what Deke's doing. Deke's going on the radio. Okay. Austin, who is 70, is the nation's senior military official, was admitted to the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on January 1st after suffering complications following a elective medical procedure. according to the Pentagon, the Associated Press reports. He did not inform the other high-ranking U.S. officials about his absence, including the president, and went AWOL for multiple days, despite heightened international tensions. Russia, Hamas, Iran, like whatever. Who else are we trying to pick fights with? The lack of disclosure, which goes against the established practice, raises questions about the severity of the military's leader's illness and why he did not inform the other officials, and whether or not the Pentagon had a plan for his absence. This reminds me also of, do you remember, I think it was in the first year of our show, maybe. Do you remember when Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, was just gone for 3 months and nobody noticed?
Yeah. Nobody even was like, where's Pete? I don't know.
It didn't matter.
But on a serious note, I mean, we like to make jokes and stuff, but on a serious note, concerning that's very concerning. I mean, on multiple different levels, but number one, like they said there in the article, I mean, if our leaders don't need to be like, oh, I'm sick, I better not let anybody know because I'll lose my, what kind of country are we living in? I mean, you're trying to preserve. I don't know what kind of country either. Me and you were brought up and told that this country was one thing, and we have lived our life, and we're like, that was a bunch of horse shit.
That wasn't true. None of that's true.
True. And what's sad is a lot of people our age still believe that and want to believe, and it's like,
yeah, but the thing is, we need that. We need the lie that America is good. Yeah, we have to have it. Otherwise, we're like just a bunch of buttholes living next to each other.
But yeah, that's what we don't. We don't want to realize that everybody else's opinion of us is that we're a bunch of assholes.
Right.
And we're not a bunch of assholes. We're like, we don't like this shit either. They've lied to us too. We know that
they constantly lie to us, especially all of our letter agencies. I just imagine like another emergency happens, and the White House goes down into the war room. You remember seeing movies where they have the war room, where there's like a big table and a circle and lights and stuff, and go to the war room, and President Biden shuffles into the room, but the lights are off, and somebody's supposed to turn the lights on. Isn't that the defense secretary's job when we come down here? He's supposed to turn the lights on. We don't even know where the light switch is. It's just dark and everybody's lost.
But it's very concerning that we've gotten to that point to where if I was in charge of this company, that people don't want to realize, hey, you're not fit to be in charge anymore. Maybe you're sick. You need to concentrate on this. You're older. Your brain's not as quick as, nobody wants to say that.
Right.
No.
I mean, a lot of us are saying things like that. A lot of people are saying things like that, but
it's not that we're trying to put our old people on a freaking boat and send them off to Avalon. We're trying to say we respect what you've given us. We want to continue what you've done.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Go home. Relax.
You're old.
You're
old. Okay. One more note on this story. So when Secretary Austin was hospitalized, right? Even though he didn't tell his boss, somebody else was filling in for him at his job.
Yeah,
right. And you would think that person would know what was going on. But according to CNN, the deputy defense secretary was not told that Austin had been hospitalized when she assumed his duties. She took on the defense secretary's duties and did not know what was up with him.
Good for her. I mean, she did what she was supposed to do. But once again, this guy's not, I mean, he doesn't appear to be that old right there. So maybe he's got another.
Federally, you can't share medical stuff. They are on no obligation.
Okay, that's true. However, the president of the United States should probably be informed that the defense secretary is not
under no obligation to share medical information.
We're not asking for medical information. We just want to know if you're in the freaking hospital.
This is like you calling your boss and calling in sick. He didn't even do that.
Not required to give details.
We don't want any details. I just want to know, dude's not going to be there.
Is somebody there to push the buttons in case we go to war?
That's the whole thing. I don't care why he's in the hospital. I hope he gets better, but I want to know why he was You know, I want to know if he's going to be there or not, and why you were gone for 2 days and not told anybody. And it wouldn't be a big deal if he was like the janitor. He's the number freaking 2 guy in charge of the U.S. military.
Right.
It wouldn't be a big deal if it was just a senator guy that missed a meeting. He's the number 2 guy.
Yeah, it seems important.
It seems.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been employed by the White House, so I can't say definitively like this is really important. But it seems like something that should be like pretty important.
All right,
it's not. You would. Yeah, let's do some more politics stuff, and we'll do aviation a little bit later in the show.
You have some national politics. I have one that I put in that I want to mention.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to. So, I know that you were really, really worried, Deke, about our country not being able to spend enough money. But don't worry, the Speaker of the House has announced a deal to avert shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson on Sunday said that congressional leaders reached a top-line spending deal to avert a federal government shutdown by providing funding through the rest of the fiscal year. Isn't that just great?
Same old crap we always do.
You're going to add $1.5 trillion of spending for the rest of the year. And we just recently crossed $34 trillion in national debt. But don't worry, we can print more money, right?
Yeah,
it's fine.
Paper doesn't cost very much. You can go to Office Depot
super
and
cheap.
Reams.
And you know what? Today, a lot of your money is just like numbers on a balance budget or a computer. It's all on your computer, right? You just add some more zeros on there and then transfer those over to somebody else. You don't even have to print it on paper. It's fine. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I don't even want to look into this because it'll just kind of irritate you a little bit on what they spend money on.
I really shouldn't have said that when my wife's here because she hates it when I talk about the national debt.
I got one for you here.
Sure. What you got?
Let me get all the pop-ups to I saw this one and I wanted to mention this just because Sinister and I are both from Kentucky as well.
Yes.
Why is my screen sharing? There it is. Kentucky's Andy Beshear joins other high-profile governors in creating a federal PAC, a political action committee. So the way that USA Today worded this kind of gave me a little concern. It says Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is a rising star in the Democratic Party.
That is very concerning.
that sentence is the first part of that sentence is very concerning because 99% of Kentuckians do not like this man.
Right.
I mean,
I think by rising star, they may mean he's a Democrat that can win an election while Biden is president. I think that's what
in a red state. In a red state. Beshear is launching In This Together. It's a federal political action committee which will endorse and raise money on behalf of candidates across the country in this election cycle.
Great.
So this is what I have a problem with. In a story I read the other day about his beginning of the year speech, he said in one of the sentences, he says, since this is my last term, or however he worded it, he's going to get down to political stuff. And I was like, bitch, you should have been doing that in your first term. And this is the problem that I have with this kind of stuff. It's that they use all of their time to get reelected again, and then they promise to do shit and they never do anything. So they spend 4 years raising money to get reelected again, and then their last 4 years they actually attempt to do a couple of things that they promised for 6 fucking years. And I hate this. It needs to change. So all he's doing is they're praising this guy in this story to help get more Democrats elected.
Yep.
That's what he and other Democratic governors across the country are doing. And they worded it as a political action committee. They put all these big fancy words in. They try to put the dancing woman in front of your face. Look how pretty this is. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I did not like that first line, the rising star in the Democratic Party.
in the next political year, you're going to have stories on various news sites citing the organization in this together that is endorsing candidates or perhaps putting commercials together. We're in this together. We're in this together.
JJ.
All of us made this terrible mess. We all did this together, and we're going to get through it together. We all did this. And some of us are like, no, we didn't all do this. You guys did this.
The Commonwealth.
You guys stuck us in this together.
The Commonwealth of Kentucky's motto is "United we stand, divided we fall." That is the that's the Commonwealth of Kentucky's motto. United we stand, divided we fall. That's on our flag.
All right, let's talk about January 6th for a second. Hate it. I remember January 6th and the days following that, and how early on video was available and like wasn't able to be censored so fast, so that you could see feeds from inside the Capitol. You could see stuff that was going on. And I don't know if it was January 6th, but it was definitely on one of the alternative platforms. I saw the videos, plural, of Ashley Babbitt in her last moments. I'm sure you've seen that or something like that too. There was an agitator in there that was actually causing, a ruckus and getting it on film on purpose. And I think he ended up going to jail. But as you may recall, Ashley Babbitt is kind of at the forefront of this crowd and pushed up against the door. The window had been broken out, and I guess she was leaning through it, or maybe was going to go through the window or something. And she was killed. And it's a horrible tragedy. She was not armed, and she didn't really pose a threat to anybody. The family of Ashley Babbitt has filed a $30 million lawsuit against the government over her death on January 6th. And by the way, if no charges were ever filed, the officer was cleared like it was a good shoot. They papered over this as fast as they could. If this had been a Democrat, or if this had been someone that was of color, it would have never gotten treated like this. It would have been all over the news, the investigation for weeks. The family of Ashley Babbitt has filed a $30 million wrongful death lawsuit against the government, saying she posed no threat to anyone when she was killed. She was fatally shot when she tried to enter a secure area inside the Capitol building on the day the Capitol riot took place 3 years ago. She was a 14-year Air Force veteran and unarmed at the time. She tried to climb through a broken window. In the lawsuit, which was filed in Southern California, it alleges that Babbitt was ambushed by Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd, who shot her. So I just want to know if you have any thoughts about Ashley Babbitt or the case, mostly I'm kind of upset that the Capitol Police never, this was never publicly investigated. And if you called for it, you just got on the internet, oh, she was a traitor, so she deserved it, or something like that.
That's what happens when you own all of the media. You can say what you want, and anybody that questions this is lambasted as well. But I'm a history buff, and in 150 years, they will be talking about this in detail, about how this was a catalyst to something, because you can go back to the several instances where the phrase "the shot heard round the world" was used to describe the first shot there at Lexington and Concord with the Revolutionary War, and then this assassination of Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, that supposedly started the First World War. This will be akin to that in our history books in 150 years, and it hasn't been taken. I mean, the first couple of years since that happened, of course, everybody's gone crazy, but people now are getting a little ballsier. All right, and I'm appreciating some of this, because I heard this over the weekend from somebody else, but this Republican Stefanik from New York, she was on one of the talk shows yesterday, and she blasted biased media, saying she was concerned about the treatment of the January 6th hostages.
That is a good framing, because that's what they are. They have, some of them haven't been charged, or they've been held for a long time, and then they're do you know how many people have been charged with insurrection, which is the only thing we heard for 2 years? Zero people have been charged with insurrection. So, hostages is a great word for it. Now there are some people that deserve to be charged.
Right.
People that were violent, people that are hitting people, people that are doing a ruckus or whatever. But there were hundreds of people there. You don't charge hundreds of people for the actions of one or two people. You don't do that.
There was a tweet from the FBI that came down over not too long ago as well. I don't know if I could find it, but it was basically talking about how they were going to get these. They finally located these 3 January 6th people, and they got these 3, and all of the comments were talking about, you guys have not done anything for the freaking Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and you're still chasing these January 6th. Every single comment, thousands of them were all saying the same thing. FBI, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? The American public is losing their trust in law enforcement at an unbelievable level, unprecedented. Where is this going to be in 30 years? Because my children are going to be my age in 30 years, and I don't want them having to deal with this. I want them to live a peaceful and long, happy life.
I mean, we collectively as a nation have imbued these federal agencies with authority, and then that authority is being abused for political weaponization. That's why they're going after these January 6 people, and it's exactly why they will not chase down Epstein's client list. They don't care that there are child abusing organizations of child abusing people in Hollywood or in our federal government. They do not care. It's not as important as whatever the alternative is in their mind. So, I mean, if somebody was like, we have to dismantle the FBI, like Vivek Ramaswamy might say, I'm kind of like, okay, let's try that. Let's see what happens if we dismantle the FBI. All right. That's enough J6. I hate that stuff. Oh, one more thing. You know Michael Rappaport? He's a comedian.
Comedian guy?
Comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. Like, he hates Trump.
Super fucking
hates Trump. Yeah, he's very lefty.
Every time I see him, he was Earl's friend, and my name is Earl. And he was in he was in that for a long time. I do too.
Such a good show.
Like a million times. He was Earl's friend, and my name is Earl. Yeah.
So Michael Rappaport famously hates Trump. Like, gets on Instagram or whatever social media he's on. He just lets out all of the expletives. He hates this guy. But things are so bad that Michael Rappaport has decided that voting for Trump is on the table. He said, I've been very open about my problems with Trump, but with everything that's going on in the last 6 months, inflation, interest rates, I know that doesn't have anything to do with the president necessarily, but the anti-Semitism and anti-Israel, I'm not supporting anybody that doesn't support Israel, period. The breaking point for Michael Rappaport was October 7th and the Hamas attack on Israel, and how so much of our leadership in our government was like, well, that was bad, but also free Palestine and so forth. And Michael Rappaport's like having none of it. He's like, no. You don't, if you don't support, if you cannot clearly see that evil terrorist a-holes flying in on parachutes and murdering people was evil, then I got nothing to say to you. So the left has pushed the boundaries so far left that Michael Rappaport finds himself as a centrist that might be on the fence, which I think is, I don't know. I think it's interesting though, because he's no buddy of mine. He has been funny before, but anyway, I just thought that was worth mentioning. All right, Deke, what do you want to talk about next?
I was looking to see if that's his real name. I was looking to see what his real name is. His real name is Michael David Rappaport. His dad was a radio executive who was the general manager of an all disco format in New York City.
All disco.
That's awesome. Dude.
How does that work at 8 a.m?
Yeah.
Staying alive.
Yeah,
Eat a bagel. Something.
That's great. All right. Tell me about this. Let's talk about this airplane thing because this scares the crap out of me.
I know.
And,
I know.
I heard about this and it was a plug, and I was like, "What the hell is a plug?"
Okay, so I read it. So I was up late last night playing a video game and looking at stories, playing a video game on my phone, and I scrolled through these stories and I was like, "What the f is a plug? Why does an airplane have a plug? How does that make sense?" So the FAA has ground. Okay, my dog is like, "Are we playing? Are we playing right now?"
That's okay. Play with
Yeah.
Ruby.
The FAA has grounded Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets after Alaska Airlines suffers a gaping hole in its side in midair. In the middle of the plane, a big old hole just popped open. Let's see. I think actually, just in case you weren't able to imagine it for yourself, I did find a video. So let's watch this. Hold on. Here we go. Boop.
Oh my God.
City lights out the side of the airplane as the plane is turning. If that isn't horrifying. Oh, and by the way, notice all the oxygen masks that are deployed.
That's
so people are on the.
That dude's like, dude, sit down.
Well, that plane's landed now.
Have you not seen a movie? Oh,
yeah. There was nobody.
Heart rate. That's really my heart rate.
The plane was. Let me go back to where you can see right out the window. That was pretty great.
I don't want to see right out the window.
No, the plane was.
That really did make my heart rate go up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think these 737 MAX 9. I don't know if that's the same generation, but a couple years ago there was the problem with the 737s that the engines were falling off. This is totally unrelated to the engines falling off of airplanes.
I hate flying.
Yes. Yeah. So that plug is where an emergency door in a fuselage would be. But, and get this. So these same model airplanes, 737 MAX 9s, they're sold to Boeing and Alaska Air, and they're sold to, I don't know, lots of other airlines too. Some of those airlines cram 200 plus seats into the airplane, and the FAA regulations are everybody has to be able to debark the plane in 90 seconds in case of an emergency. When you have a higher number of seats on the airplane, it takes longer for people to get off. So in those cases, they have to have more emergency exits so that people can get off the plane quickly. But Alaska Air and United Airlines have fewer seats on their planes. That's more comfort for you. Yeah. And because of that, they're like, well, I guess we don't need this extra emergency door. So they take the airplane fuselage. They're building it. They send it to this company called Spirit something. It's not Spirit Airlines.
Duct tape.
Yeah. And then they install a plug that is basically like a piece of fuselage that goes where the door would go.
Billy Joe finished 18th in his welding class. There was only 23, but he's pretty good. We hired him.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? It's so interesting. Yeah. So where one of these doors would be is replaced by just kind of a piece of fuselage. Well, and if you're on certain airlines, you got more room. So you got more leg room. Part of the wall of a plane might fall off though. So, like everything in life, it's give and take. You can't have everything, folks.
You can't have everything.
Yeah. You want an extra free bag of peanuts? No problem. We can afford it. We saved because we didn't have as many seats.
When we went to Hawaii, we was on the big 747s with 3 seats, an aisle, 4 seats, an aisle, and 3 seats. It was huge. It was a huge thing, but it was like a 10-hour flight or something like that. And then all the other, I've been on the little 4-seater puddle jumper, and then I've been on the ones like this with 3 and 3 and 2 and 2. I do not like flying. I like taking off. I like landing. I don't, the experience doesn't scare me. It's just, I don't like it. I don't prefer. If you have a choice of a long drive or a short flight, I'm probably going to take the long drive.
I wonder if the guy in this seat right here, or maybe this seat right here. Well, first of all,
himself.
Yeah, right. Like it just straight up was like urinating. Bye, honey. And you know what? It should be. Take comfort in this. The row of seats is bolted into the plane so well that you didn't just fly out if you had your seatbelt on. So keep that seatbelt on, folks. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I just thought that was neat. All right, 8:36. Wow, we are flying through our stories this morning, sir. We've got a new and different problem. What do you want to talk about? We got Disney. We got games.
Talk about that first story that you have up there, and let's get rid of all these stories like that. That one that you have at the very top.
Oh, let's see. Let me go back up to the list. I'm the wrong thing.
About the shooting, the father and the daughter.
Oh yes. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even put this in my list. I had it on our Discord. Browser started up. All right, let's do this one here. Hey, this is Houston news. Got a rep H-Town here. A father shoots his daughter's stepfather 3 times after sexual assault allegations. Now, just from reading the headlines, I'm thinking, this is probably an okay shoot. I don't know. Maybe. A Houston father shot his daughter's stepfather 3 times Friday at about 8:30 at night after the stepfather was accused of sexually assaulting the daughter. Click to Houston reported the girl wrote her mother a note in which she indicated her 30-year-old stepfather had allegedly sexually assaulted her. The father came to the mother's house to ascertain what was going on. You know, right? Hi, honey. Hey, I need to. I just want to find out what's going on here. Then at which time the daughter and the mother stepped outside of the house, and then I guess the dad was like, "Hey, did you touch my daughter?" I don't know how long was in between that and the result, but the result was 3 shots. Shots rang out as the 2 stood outside. The father shot the stepfather 3 times. He shot him once in the stomach and once in each leg. And then the father remained on the scene and waited for officers to arrive, and he cooperated with authorities after that. So now, in one part, I'm thinking like, good. Don't, F this guy, especially if he's touching your daughter. The problem, I see it, is this. The father is going to go to jail and probably prison for aggravated assault, attempted murder. And the pedophile might even get compensated. He might even be able to bring like a civil case and the father will have to pay him. I don't know. When you have daughters, I have daughters. There's certainly when you're emotionally agitated, there's no limit to the amount of violence you might apply. What do you think about this from a cooler, rational perspective? What should this guy have done? Should he have done this? I don't know.
This shoulder says absolutely, and this shoulder says no.
Right.
This shoulder is like, as a dad, there is a switch that goes off in your head when something like this happens, and that is the irrational, protective male.
The whole world goes to this right here.
The whole world goes to a little pinhole. And the only thing that you can concentrate on is protecting your child. And I just had this conversation with Ashley the other day because our daughter comes home and she's got people that bully her sometimes at school and whatnot. And she's come home from school from being off Christmas break, and she's like, the same people are being buttholes or whatnot. And old me would have, and I've realized over the years that that just upsets my daughter even more when I display how angry it's made me. It upsets her, so I keep it to myself now. But I had to tell Ashley, I was like, I can't stop that protective DNA male. I have to protect what I love feeling, and I want to turn into a bear and go and claw some people for being assholes to my little girl. But we're smarter than that. We have to do different things. And like you said, he reacted to a situation, and I try not to react anymore, because when you react to things, you get yourself in a world of trouble. So you have to stop that ingrained reaction that's going to happen so that you can be civil and figure out and think things through, because you're exactly right. This guy's going to file a lawsuit. This dad's going to go to jail, and everything's not going to. And is this little girl still
in danger? Is she still going to be in danger? Maybe not from that guy, but
she won't have her father now.
I don't know, man. Like, on one hand, I'm thinking he made a mistake by not killing the pedophile, because now the guy's injured and can sue, and obviously he was the aggressor in this particular incident. So on the other hand, I'm like, I don't want to advocate for people to just murder each other and take justice into their own hands. So that's not right. Now, what he really should have done probably was, as you're saying, take a beat, think things through, think about the consequences of what you're going to do. And you hurt this guy temporarily, but you could have destroyed his life. You could have taken that information and worked a plan where this guy was unemployable forever. I think you could have, if you really wanted vengeance, I think you could have done something that was just as devastating that didn't get you locked up. Yeah. But I think this guy's going to be locked up in the clink. Now, a jury trial might acquit him. A jury trial might be like, makes sense, off the hook. But I don't know, man.
Okay, I got a good story for you here.
Yeah.
Have you? And I didn't have it pulled up, but I saw something. I was like, oh, we didn't talk about this, and we could talk about this.
Okay.
So, did you see the what was happening in Miami here not too long ago? At the mall?
Yes, yeah, yes, I did see that. It happened like a day or two after the Epstein files were released. It's pretty curious.
So they're saying that it was a group of teenagers that were starting something there in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Would that require 200 officers to respond?
Not normally. Not if kids were just getting into a fisticuff scuffle.
Okay, so what about the multitudes of people that were in the mall,
right,
that are all saying the same thing? They're all saying that these 8 to 10 foot tall creatures were in the mall.
Okay, I
know it's hard to believe, and I know that it very well could be the precursor to this Project Blue Book conspiracy theory, where they're testing out holograms and whatnot. So I'm just giving you a hypothetical situation. What if this was a test of a new hologram to see what the reaction would be for something like this? Because I saw a video of this and whatnot, and on the corner they highlight where these cops all have their lights, and there's something moving. They don't know what it is, and you really can't see it, but it really doesn't look like a person. It's something moving that all these cops are surrounding. Now, if you were the cops and you were wanting to try to keep this under wraps in the day of everybody's got a cell phone and this information is coming immediately. What are you going to do? Oh, that's stupid. There was no aliens. It's stupid. That's stupid. There's no aliens. It was just a weather balloon. It was just a weather balloon. It wasn't no aliens. It's stupid. It's stupid. I've even saw some people in some of these videos saying that they got the coordinates, and I don't know if this is real or not. You'll have to look it up and prove her wrong, because I'm not saying this, but she was saying that the coordinates of that mall, if you reverse them, it's in Antarctica. So her theory was that they were trying to get to the alien base in Antarctica and they accidentally reversed.
Let's let people see what's going on. So the story, as I understand it, well, there was all YouTube videos and little short videos or whatever, and then there were videos released like this that were from like an airline, from a helicopter that was over the site. But you could see literally dozens and dozens of police vehicles with the lights flashing, whatever. And then you have this kind of like, this is one of the prime evidences, that little character. That looks to me like two people walking beside each other. It looks like a couple people walking
right there.
So yeah.
It's not I was looking to see if I could find.
Now the Miami incident, as I understand it, police were responding to gunfire. Like, I think somebody in the mall was saying gunfire has gone off in the mall, and now a mall is a highly populated place. Something like a gunfire at a mall could be just somebody losing control, but putting a lot of people in danger, or it could even be a terrorist event. So, a high population, maybe it's not unreasonable for police to show up in mass against a place like that.
JJ, will you quit trying to pop my alien bubble?
I know.
Aliens are trying to attack us. So
we've had this conversation so many times, and I know, like, you want to believe, and I thought about no.
Believe.
I know you do. I know you.
Period.
I thought of a phrase the other day that makes sense of my position on all of this stuff, which is extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And if we have hundreds of people at this mall, and we have 10-foot tall shadow ghost alien spider guys, I imagine that we would get them on photo.
You are opening up a whole 3-hour philosophical debate when you say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, because I could lay down some facts on that statement right there. So we won't even get into that. Okay,
it's too early in the morning. It's too late in the show for something like that.
To get into something like that, absolutely.
I mostly found that this story, like the timing of this wacky ass story, and the fact that people were gobbling it up on YouTube Shorts or whatever, or TikTok or whatever the F it was. The fact that people were gobbling it up in the wake of the Epstein files being released, and we getting names of people that are celebrities. It's like this alien story, like, washed Epstein files out of people's brains for a couple of days. And
just remember, that was JJ, in entertainment, timing is everything.
Yeah.
They say that for comedy, but it's entertainment. Timing is everything. Speaking of entertainment, we were talking last week about the Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Going to. And we've talked about that several times. Well, no, I'm not allowing ads. I will straight up close this fucking thing.
Yeah, we can just talk about it.
We just won't even talk about it. Yeah. So some other here, I'll just open it on my phone where it'll block it out and read it to you from my fucking phone. Fox Business. Screw you. Because that's where I was reading it at today anyway. Fox. So Disney is a little worried that some other properties are fixing to come into domain. So let's see. Alongside Winnie the Pooh, Sherlock Holmes, and Robin Hood, signaling a potential legal action by companies like Disney and Warner Brothers. Let's see. Where is it talking about all the new ones that are coming? It's like Superman. In the next like 10 years, it's going to be Goofy, Donald Duck, Superman, and I can't. There was I can't remember. Yeah.
Do you remember last Friday? I think it was Friday when we talked about this. Like, some kid on YouTube has 1 million subs or whatever. He put the entire Steamboat Willie up, but he put on his own audio track on top of it. And but it's public domain. He put it up after the first of this year. And Disney copyright struck a public domain video. And then they withdrew the video copyright, and then they struck the audio. The audio is also public domain.
It's his audio that he redone over it too. So they're saying that this is another oopsie. But
Disney is a-holes.
If you think about it, is it an oopsie on YouTube's side? Because this guy has potentially lost a bunch, but since he's been in the news, he's probably gained so many followers. Here's what I was wanting to read to you, though. They've got the horror movie of the Steamboat Willie that was coming out.
Yes, right.
And we had Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Well, Hollywood Reporter revealed that other classic characters entering the public domain will also receive the slasher treatment, including Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare and, are you ready for this one?
Yes.
Bambi the Reckoning. These beloved children's characters can take on new personalities that are opposite to the brand with no legal ramification. Right. Today, we see a trend of personalities and brands planning for the next 50 years with the use. I think this is great. I'm sick of the same old. So yeah, give me Bambi the Reckoning. I want to see Bambi go on a bloodshed and kill everybody for killing.
Do you have any thoughts about copyright law in the first place? Like the law right now, I guess, is like after like 80 years or 75, 80 years, whatever it is, then your copyrighted
100 or something
work that you created goes into the public domain. It can be used by anybody for anything. So now, on the one hand, that means that evil company Disney loses the grip that they have over classic characters that, but are Disney characters. They lose that, and anybody can use them. But on the other hand, something that Deacon makes, your grandchildren will lose the ownership of. You know what I mean? So you think it's fine? So you don't have any problem with this?
I've seen the positive and the negative of copyrights. All right. Working in radio over the years, there was a morning show in Reno about 20 or 30 years ago that was sued. Do you remember the CD that came out in the 90s, Jock Jams? I know you do. You don't remember Jock Jams CD?
I'm not sure. No.
All right, it was like an MTV type CD that had a bunch of party music on it.
Okay. I've seen kinds of things like that. Yeah.
Well, one of the first songs on there was, you remember Michael Buffer? The ring announcer for boxing. Let's get ready to rumble.
Okay.
I can't say it like him because he's copyrighted that. If I said it like him, he can sue our ass, because that morning show would play the very first song on that album as a part of their little opening, and it's got him saying, "Let's get ready to rumble," and he sued their ass because they didn't have the right to play that or do. I don't remember all the legal, because
part of it would be his performance. So if they took his performance, that's not Creative Commons yet. So I mean, like, you can say it. All
kinds of celebrities have tried to copyright certain words that you can't use. You wouldn't believe the celebrities that have tried to do this. I think that's ridiculous. The copyright laws are just like anything else in this society. It is abused. You can use it the right way, but some assholes will figure out a way to abuse it. And so copyrights are good.
So Dave says,
Dave's exactly right.
Yeah.
Disney lobbyists have controlled the public domain copyright laws.
Yeah. And he says it's 90 years after creation of an IP or 75 years after the death of the creator.
Okay.
Whichever is first.
Okay.
Or whichever is last. I don't know.
I think King Kong and Frankenstein are both like public domain.
Right? Well, Frankenstein, surely, because Mary Shelley. Now, the Frankenstein version with the bolts in the neck, that's an invention of Universal Studios. So you can't use the one with bolts in the neck yet. But if you have a derivative work from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that shit was in like the 19th century.
Same thing with Disney. You can't use Mickey Mouse today, but you can use Steamboat Willie because he looks completely different.
Apparently, Minnie Mouse is in that too. So Minnie, I don't know. I've never watched it. It's 8 minutes long, but that's 8 minutes I ain't got in my life watching a 90-year-old cartoon.
I don't know if I have it. Was that my last?
You had that Tetris story.
Yeah. So Dave talked about this the other day. It took 34 years for someone that.
Yeah.
Little 13-year-old to beat Tetris and get to the kill after it was done. 2 more people have done it days apart from each other. So there's the little 13-year-old that made global headlines. Has multiple kill screens. So there you go.
Yeah, is the Matrix broken? Is that what happened? Somebody broke the Matrix and now the simulation is glitched, and now you can just exploit it.
It's easier to exploit the bug. That's exactly right. All right.
I don't believe in Matrix. I don't believe in simulation. I want to talk. Games. I wanted to just mention we talked about it beforehand. I don't really know if it's of interest to anybody, but it's of interest to me. So I told you, Deke, that I wanted to play like games on my computer, and I wanted a controller because I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So last year I bought this thing. I looked it up on Amazon for just like Bluetooth controller, and there was like all of these garbage, like $20, $30 ones. But then there was this one from Amazon called the Luna controller, and it does Bluetooth or it does something called Lunar. And, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Bound it to my computer, and I can play like, I don't know, some games that I have that are on my computer with a controller. Well, this thing, if you go to the Amazon Luna website, and if you're a Prime member, Amazon Prime, which like isn't everybody a Prime member, that's how you get toilet paper now. So you get to play like some select games for free on this thing. But here's the positive. It doesn't require any work on your computer. So like if I was to play like Fallout or something, my computer would have to be doing all the work of Fallout, and my computer's not a gaming PC, so it's going to look kind of like poopy or whatever. It's not going to look great. If you plan on Amazon's computers are doing all the work, and it's just streaming the picture to your computer. So they have a couple games that are free right now, which I thought was cool. So I thought I'd tell people about it, and then we can go. Where's the damn? I forgot how to share a screen. Here you go. Look at this. So they have a bunch of games, but these are the ones that are free to me right now because of Amazon Prime. Control. The Control is amazing. And I just started playing Tom Clancy's The Division. It's amazing, dude.
That's a good game.
Yeah, so that's awesome. It's Fortnite or whatever. I don't know about any of these other ones. I have Assassin's Creed because I linked up my Ubisoft account. And I've never played Assassin's Creed, but Control is amazing story, and The Division seems to be pretty cool. I don't know about the rest of these, but I don't know. I might mess around with playing games on I might stream them to my other Rumble channel. Speaking of Rumble, if you haven't already, like and subscribe.
I've been playing Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. I want a Backbone, the little thing that you can get for your phone. They've got this thing. You can get a little Backbone, PS5 Backbone for your phone, and I can like log into my PS5 and play it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be weird? Like, do you think it would be weird?
A lot of reviews, and people are saying it's great. They love it.
Because in a real controller, you don't have to look at the controller. You can feel.
No. It goes onto the side and it mimics if you've.
Does it actually have like? Does it actually have the joy thing? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. They're like $100, but I sure shit don't have $100 to spend on a gaming controller right now. All right, so yeah, we like to talk about video games because we're geeky dads, and that's how.
Yeah, I want to figure out how to play The Division with you. Do you have it? Or have you played it before?
Yeah, I played it a long time ago.
A long time ago?
So it'd be brand new to me.
Huh. I'll figure it out. I don't know. It's not like we don't have a lot of other things to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. We'll be back. Hey, dude, jokes. I forgot jokes. It's joke time. We got to leave on a joke. Deke, why was the safari cat disqualified from the race?
He's a
Did you do this one already? Yeah, I already did this one.
He's a cheat.
Lame.
I'm not even going to count that one.
Did you hear that the Energizer Bunny was arrested?
No. Assault and battery.
Yeah, he's charged with battery.
Oh, he's charged with battery.
We need a scoreboard.
Yeah, we do. I've asked so many people here recently what LGBTQ stands for.
Oh?
And so far, no one has given me a straight answer.
Oh, yes. All right. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, rumble.com/JJW. Goodbye. Fly United. The show is over. Please subscribe.